Hey, this is me, Marvin. So, I first watched this movie called Fun Down There, and it wasn't as much fun as they imply, but basically, I watched the movie in two parts. I watched like the first half of it, I think the first 20 minutes or so of it, a couple weeks back, and then I finally watched the rest of it tonight because I just had the time, and I wanted to watch something that was gay themed, and so it's a very anticlimactic movie. Not really that much happens. Basically, this guy who's been living with his parents. Sorry. Basically, this guy's been living with his parents. Decides to strike out on his own and come to New York. And so he goes to New York. He finds a place. He meets a few people. He experiences, I think, his first sexual experiences with another man. And just kind of like living life through that. And then eventually he runs into some other people, and that leads to him getting an interview for a job, and then he gets a job, and he at this job, there's this cute guy that's into him, and they kiss first, and then eventually kind of go and hang for like a day, and then they decide to kind of know each other a little bit more, and then they kind of get it on, and then he returns back to this other guy who he first met with when he has first sexual experience with, to kind of like hang with. So he's kind of seeing both guys at the same time. And it ends with him talking on the phone with his family. He goes from his sister to his mom, to his dad, to his sister, and then back to his mom. And you just kind of see his interaction. I think that actually was one of the more interesting ones because it kind of felt like watching a conversation I've had previously with my family, and it felt you guys see how his mood change between each character and how he relates to them differently. It tells them different things, and so they're like probably one of the more enjoyable parts. But it's really random the way the movie ends. He's off the phone, and then his friend comes back and he's like, "Hey, you ready to go for breakfast?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." And he gets up, he stretches, and then right when he's done stretching, the movie just like the frame freezes and the movie credits start, and it's like, okay, there were a lot of parts of this movie that really could have been cut out. There was scenes that just went on too long. There was dragging. There was just a lot of inaction going on that really could have been taken out and made this movie a lot shorter. It's an hour and a half, but it really could have been an hour and 5 minutes, or just an hour, honestly, because nothing really happens. I basically felt like I was watching someone's life in real time. Real time to me would include, because I mean, in real life, things aren't always happening. In real life, you have long stretches where things aren't happening, and then you have activity. That's what it felt like for most of this movie. I wouldn't recommend this movie to anybody. I wouldn't want to sit down and go through it. I mean, it wasn't a horrible movie, honestly. They could have done a lot more with it, probably story-wise, to make it more interesting. They could have done some serious editing. Honestly, it wasn't a horrible movie, but it definitely deserves the 2 stars that I see that it has. I've seen worse, obviously, and there was some kind of interesting parts here and there in the movie, almost interesting. So it's basically about this guy just kind of coming into a new world, and just coming to terms with his identity. And so there were some interesting parts, especially like the parts where they were talking about his life and their experiences and whatnot. And so, it was okay. I watched. I wasn't like, "Ooh, I'm glad I watched it." I'm kind of glad I watched it so that way I can say, "Okay, I completed it." But I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. I would never try to think about this movie again until like I listen to it recording however many years from now. And so again, I would not recommend Fun Down There really for anyone unless you just have nothing else to do and you like gay themed kind of romances and stories, and you just want to see what it's about. But basically summed up what it's about. He leaves home, goes to New York, meets a guy, meets another guy, talks to both the guys at the same time. Movie ends randomly. That sums up the movie. So this is me, Marvin Lee.